We adopted Petey about 9 months ago, and at the time, we weren't sure if he'd ever be stable enough to travel with us. The shelter warned us that because of his fear, he might never even manage a walk in the park. His anxiety around dogs and kids was that severe. But little by little, he surprised us. First, he stopped barking at every sound in the neighborhood. Then, he quit chewing our blankets and pillows. Eventually, he began to enjoy walks and car rides. Sure, he still gets spooked by the occasional dog, but now he can be redirected, something that felt impossible in those first 3 months. Petey has proven not only the shelter wrong, but also shown us just how smart and loving he really is. Underneath his trauma, there's a sweet, capable dog. We know that if we keep nudging him forward, he'll grow into the great companion we believe he can be. So, with that in mind, we decided it was time for Petey's first trip. Pender Island, one of the Gulf Islands off Vancouver Island. His first ferry ride, his first hotel stay, his first night away from home. Would he rise to the challenge, or would the stress unravel everything? We packed early, making sure to bring along his donut bed and blanket for comfort. Because my wife and I get anxious about travel too, we gave ourselves a big buffer. While we waited, we walked Petey around Tawasin Mills Mall. Everything was closed, but it helped burn off his energy. We lucked out and squeezed onto an earlier ferry, saving ourselves 2 hours. We were the last car on, parked at an incline that made the ride a bit shaky. Petey struggled at first, barking whenever I left the car, jittery on walks near other dogs. The dog deck was a non-starter, so we stayed with him in the back seat until he finally settled down for a nap. At last, the ferry docked at Otter Bay on Pender Island. Our first stop was Hope Bay, where we barely stepped out before an off-leash dog came trotting over. Friendly or not, it would have set Petey off, so we ducked down to the water's edge and enjoyed the view from a safe distance. Next, we checked out the island's main junction, a bakery, liquor store, and a few restaurants. It seemed to be the hub of Pender, and just about everyone had a dog. Normally that would have been great, but with Petey, it made things tricky. We barely left the car. We grabbed food to go and drove until we found some peace at Magic Lake. There, on a quiet bench with no dogs in sight, we ate our sandwiches and drank our coffee while Petey anxiously sniffed around the tall grass. From there, we drove to Mortimer Spit, a narrow strip of land between the two parts of Pender. The roads were rough, but the unique views were worth it. It ended up being my favorite spot. Petey seemed to enjoy it too. His favorite, however, was the enchanted forest. Quiet, shaded trails, no other dogs. A perfect first hike for him. He loved it. It was a great way to get rid of some nervous energy. At least that was what we hoped. Apart from a short ferry nap, he'd been going non-stop. We tried checking into our hotel early, but our room wasn't ready. So we drove to Gowland Point, a rocky beach at the southeastern tip. The scenery was stunning, but it was hard to enjoy with Petey on high alert. Dogs, people, and one overly confident old man who couldn't believe any dog wouldn't like him. None of it helped. Finally, we made it to our hotel, Poets Cove Resort, right on the water. Getting Petey inside was rough. An off-leash dog greeted us at the door, setting him off. If it wasn't for that dog, I think Petey could have done much better. I have thoughts on off-leash dogs for sure, especially when their owners aren't able to call them back. Alas, we can't control other people. Anyways, once in the room, he relaxed. He bounced around the bed, explored the new space, and slowly grew more comfortable when I had to step out. We give him a C+, a pass, but also a lot of room for improvement. The resort itself was wonderful. A balcony with ocean views, a restaurant kind enough to pack meals to go, and even a deep bathtub that made up for skipping the crowded pool and hot tub outside. We ended the evening quietly in the room. Petey curled up on his donut bed and later snuggled with us like he always does. The trip wasn't easy. Without him, it would have been simpler, maybe even more relaxing. But it wouldn't have been the same. He wasn't perfect. His triggers are still there. But compared to the scared dog we brought home last December, he was unrecognizable. And the biggest surprise came after. Back home, he was calmer. During the workday, instead of chewing things for attention, he started napping peacefully by our side. The trip gave him a boost of confidence, and for that alone, it was worth it. As for Pender Island, it's small, hilly, and full of bees. Beautiful, yes, and we saw most of it in one trip. I'm not sure we'll rush back, but it will always be special. The first place Petey traveled, something we never thought possible. I can't wait for more trips with him. He's a smart, adventurous little guy, and while he's still a bit crazy, I wouldn't bet against him becoming the good boy we always knew he could be. Thanks for joining us on this journey. If you are interested in seeing more about Petey and other travel videos, check out these playlists here, and don't forget to subscribe.